But yeah, I guess next we can do Trezor. So Trezor,
Okay.
Trezor. I'd say Trezor just to be like funny sometimes. Trezor.
Trezor.
So
Like Cardanzo, shout out there for Tony.
yeah. All right. So I set up the Trezor already. Now here's what's so I'm going to explain the passphrase real quick. Hidden wallet passphrase is required. So a hidden wallet is you are adding a 25th seed word to your 24 word seed phrase. Or if you used one of these Trezors, the Model T, you have a 12 word seed phrase and you're adding a 13th word to it because these only generate 12 word seeds. So you're basically adding another seed word that is whatever you want it to be. So it can be super long and complex and crazy, but what that means is this word can never be recovered, and it is a part of your seed phrase now. So earlier for the demo wallet, I made my passphrase hex. But what if I said, you know what, I'm going to make my passphrase hex, and I wrote it down on a piece of paper with my, with the seed phrase or separate from it, but I wrote my passphrase is hex. But then when I typed it in, I accidentally put a typo and I typed in heck. And then I, accessed the hidden wallet and I confirmed. It shows you what your passphrase is on the wallet when you create it, but I just said confirm, yeah. And then I sent money. So then it says if you're first setting up your passphrase, this is normal because you don't have any money in it yet because you haven't sent money to the wallet yet. You're setting it up. So I say, yeah, my passphrase was a hex, and let's say I do the typo again and I don't check it. I understand passphrases cannot be retrieved, and I confirm passphrase. And then I say continue. So I wrote on paper that my passphrase was HEX, but I accidentally typed it in HEC, heck. And then I send a bunch of crypto to this wallet. And then I go to bed, and the next day I come back and I type in the correct. I say, okay, my passphrase is hex. Yeah, I wrote that down. All right, let me enter the PIN. And I say, yeah, okay, yeah, my passphrase is hex, right? And then I open the wallet, and then I can't. Then there's no money in it. I have had that happen to someone where they actually they wrote down the passphrase they wanted, then they typed it in. But I'm going to show you guys where he messed up at. He didn't mess up where I just showed you. But anyway, to add the Trezor, sorry, I'm going a little fast, but this will all make sense in a second. I'm adding Trezor. I don't know what that sign was. I don't think it matters. So this will pop up, allow anonymous data collection. I just say no. I mean, so here,
just say no to anonymous data collection. I like it.
Yeah, just say no. So here I'm adding my Trezor to MetaMask. Let's say I set up my passphrase I wrote down HEX as my passphrase, and then I say, okay, HEX, and I accidentally type in HEC. It's not going to say, are you sure? It's just going to load it up. And then I'm going to say, okay, I don't have any crypto in this wallet yet. Let me just select this wallet, okay? And then I sent a bunch of crypto to this account, okay? So I typed in HEC. I have written down HEX. I sent a bunch of crypto to this account. And then the next day, I'm like, woohoo, sweet. I have it. How about staking? I'll show you that RHES. But basically, I had a guy who we set this up, and then he deleted his MetaMask and moved the hardware wallet. And he had written down his private or his hidden phrase incorrectly to what he had typed. So he typed it wrong. He wrote down what he wanted. He typed it with a typo and then sent a bunch of money to it. So I feel like I just took way too long to basically just say when you're typing your passphrase, just be extremely certain that you've typed in what you wrote. Because this guy basically had to to find his money, he had to type in what he thought the typo could have possibly been. And he got it on the second try.
Heck.
Thank God. But yeah, your passphrase, you can't just like look it up like, oh, like let me retrieve it. It is like another word to your seed phrase. So like once you create your seed phrase with your hardware wallet, you can't like look at it again unless you like hired a hacker to open it up and like retrieve it for you, which would be awful. You don't want to have to do that. So just because another thing with the passphrases is you don't want to make it so complex that you can't even access your money. Because I had another person who came to me for a one-on-one, needed help, hadn't sent money to her account yet, but she couldn't even figure out how to enter in her passphrase. She'd made it so long and complex. It was like too hard, you know? And I was like, okay, like if this is just, so it's all personal. Security is a spectrum. Like you could have different wallets. You could have one wallet that's super duper hard, complex passphrase that would take you a long time to type in. You could do that. But like if you're going to have a wallet that you want to use occasionally, that's like kind of too much, I think. And it comes down to personal preference, but don't make something so complex that like you can't even tell what you wrote down and you're just screwed and you lost your money because you were like trying too hard to be secure. Does that make sense?
Yeah, the most like having, it's not like it's not linear. It's not like the more secure password or word or whatever you use makes your money that much more secure. That's not the way it works. But just have a good one. It doesn't need to be like a crazy complex one that you're going to forget. And that's a good point.
Yes. So let me go back now to MetaMask. So this is the wrong. Let me remove account. Let me go to Trezor. So here's the right account, hidden wallet 1, where the passphrase is HEX. All right. So now I'm going to go to MetaMask. I'm going to go to add hardware wallet. I'm going to click Trezor. I click allow, export. This is all normal. Okay, let me forget this device. Hold on, I'm already done. So sometimes if you encounter an error, you probably have to just unplug stuff and replug it back in.
Reboot your router, format your machine, all that stuff.
Maybe not all that.
No, just kidding. Just kidding. Yeah, don't do that. Don't do that.
But it's like this stuff can be so frustrating, especially when you're new to it. Because stuff that always works, all of a sudden it doesn't work and you don't know why. And you're trying to figure it out. And then it turns out all you needed to do is like restart your computer and you don't know why that's what you needed to do. It just is. And you're like, what the heck? So now you don't necessarily have to go into Ledger Live before you do stuff, or Trezor. You don't have to go into Trezor Suite or Ledger Live before you do stuff with your Trezor or Ledger through MetaMask. You don't have to, you know, but I'm just doing it for the sake of what we're doing here. Some people get that wrong. They're like, oh, I have to get into Ledger. I have to go log in here first. You don't have to do that. So go to add hardware wallet. Now this is just an error from, they're trying to, irrelevant. It's about the ledger. We're not using the ledger anymore. Here, let me just show you guys something. So this says, don't ask me again. So I had an issue once where I actually checked that and click always allow, and I had a bunch of errors. So I just leave it unchecked and it just asks me every time, and that's fine with me. Cause like, again, just some stuff is so weird where, yeah, I checked it and it just was all kinds of annoying. So export public key of account number 1. Now my hidden wallet is HEX, and I can even check to make sure. Maybe that's not super duper secure because someone could be watching your screen and you don't want them to see your passphrase. But I think sometimes, you know, it's better to check than to like accidentally put in a typo and not know it and then send your money to the wrong wallet and you don't know it, and then it becomes a huge issue. So, you know, all right. So now confirming, it's saying use this passphrase. Yep, that's the passphrase. So again, it usually should show the amount of ETH, but we can go here. We can see the address 0x357B. So I'm just going to look at that. I go back here, 0x35. All right, should be the first one. That should be correct, and it is. And I have 0.013 ETH wallet 2, and I also have 10,000 PulseChain as well. So that's all cool and dandy. PulseChain is already here because we added it before for the ledger. So now it's cool. It's super easy. If you wanted to send between the accounts, you could just do it. You could just click send and then click it like that. That's like very secure, very easy way to swap between the hardware wallets. Again, you don't keep any crypto in this account one because this account, the seed phrase, is stored in the browser. It's not safe. So you could even rename it to like, I have people do this sometimes. Dummy, it's called a dummy wallet. Dummy wallet, do not use. And we had to create this wallet. Okay, we have to have the dummy wallet. Otherwise, we can't connect our hardware wallets to MetaMask. Like MetaMask makes you kind of create your, a MetaMask native wallet before you can add your hardware wallet. So you have to have it. You have to create the dummy wallet to then add the secure wallets. You don't want to send any crypto here. If you do, don't have a heart attack. Just like get some ETH in here as soon as you can, send it back, or some Pulse in there so you can pay the fee to send it back. But you don't.
Or you can just use it as a hot wallet if you just need a wallet to just like do either dummy account or just do stuff back and forth. Anything that you don't want to be a hardware wallet. I don't know if I call them secure and insecure or what, but it's like just your hot wallet versus your kind of cold protected wallet with the hardware devices.
Yeah. You could do that, or if you really, you could have a Trezor without a passphrase with a really easy pin too, to be your swapping it out real quick, like hot wallet. I know some people like they sometimes use like a phone MetaMask if they really want to do something, and they put a tiny bit of money on there. So if they really want to do something real quick on the road, they can too. There's so many different ways to do it. A lot of it comes down to like personal preference. But so yeah, the big takeaway from this is the hidden wallet. Like, make sure you're like, a lot of people, they want to take a wallet they already have. Like, let's say you have a seed phrase on MetaMask and they want to add a passphrase to their MetaMask seed phrase. You can't add a passphrase to a wallet. Like say you have a bunch of money attached to a 12-word seed phrase. You can't just add on a 13-word after the fact. That 13th word added to a 12-word seed is effectively creating a brand new wallet. So you then have to send everything from the 12-word seed phrase wallet to the new 13-word, the 13th word being your passphrase. So that's something to understand too. You can't just, and this is relevant if you have hex stakes. You can't move native hex stakes to another wallet. That you're stuck on that seed phrase. So a mistake people made, myself included, is you were maybe a noob, you didn't know all this stuff, you staked hex on your dummy wallet, and now you want to add a passphrase to that wallet. You can't. You're stuck with this seed phrase. The best thing you can do is, I have a video on it, is move this seed phrase. Let's say you have a dummy wallet with hex stakes, move that seed phrase to a hardware wallet. Any liquid crypto that's in that wallet, move it to a brand new hardware wallet. Hopefully a Trezor with the passphrase that, you're not going to do a passphrase too hard, or you're going to make sure you don't have any typos in it. And then the dummy wallet that has hex stakes, you didn't know it was a dummy wallet at the time, but this old wallet, you would then only use that wallet to end your hex stakes and then immediately send them to another hardware wallet, to the new hardware wallet or to any other new hardware wallet you might add, with the seed phrase that was never once stored in the browser. Because even if you take this seed phrase that I showed you guys was here in the MetaMask, I showed you it was here. So even if you add the seed phrase to a hardware wallet, you want to just not keep any new, you don't want to add any more crypto to that wallet, and you don't want to keep any liquid crypto on that wallet, because someone could have, for all you know, the seed phrase was compromised already. It just hasn't been exploited yet, right? You never know. Like someone could have gotten like 1,000 seed phrases for MetaMask, and they're just taking their time going through it, and yours is like next on the list. So, you know, if you only have hex sticks in that wallet, maybe the hacker doesn't know about hex, or he's just like looking real quick and he's like, oh, there's nothing in this wallet, and they move on. And then whenever you end a stake, just send it to your new hardware wallet where the seed phrase came from the device. And so the guy, just real quick, who was asking about how to stake, it's the same thing. I mean, if you want to do a transaction with the Trezor, it's actually easier. Okay, so it looks like I'm connected with the, hold on. See if I can connect to.
It's really good stuff, Ben. Yeah, thanks for doing the demos.
Yeah, thanks, man. Yeah, I feel like it's a lot of info, so it could be confusing, but same way you would want to like stake hex, you just can, you know, as I'm swapping here, click confirm. Now this pop-up, so it's a little different than Ledger. You can already see it actually has a pop-up and a new kind of like browser thing, new browser and tab. I click allow once. Now on my device, I confirm, and then transaction is submitted. And if it's your first time doing a transaction and you've just plugged in your Trezor, it's going to ask you to enter your passphrase and stuff. But since we already did that before to add the Trezor to MetaMask, we're able to just confirm it real quick. But normally, if you just plugged it in, it's going to ask you to enter the PIN. It's going to ask you to enter your passphrase and confirm all that. And then you have to confirm it all again, like I just did. So, but yeah, so staking hex with the, and another thing, just like Pulse Ledger Live, you can't see your PulseChain on Trezor. So another thing with Trezor versus Ledger, Trezor doesn't have as many networks as we saw with Ledger. There was like a ton, but you know, for me, I'm just using PulseChain and ETH if I do anything, so this is fine. But